Awesome. We are live. Welcome, everybody, to our spooktacular special episode of Sweet Treats. My name is Pat the Honey Guy, and this is my lovely mom, Tracy Simoneau.
Hello, hardy everyone.
She's our queen bee around the hive, and today she's going to be showing us how to substitute honey for sugar in a Halloween treat. So stick around. You guys are in the live stream on YouTube. Throw those questions there. We'll get those answered at the end, and then join us at school.com/bees if you guys want to get on this call live or get your questions answered by Tracy or my dad, Dennis, the 7th generation expert beekeeper in our family. Anyway, I'll pass it over to her and she'll get started with our spectacular Halloween treat for today.
Hi, happy Halloween, everyone. In the spirit of Halloween, I've decided to make some Halloween candy using honey. And now there's several recipes out there for honey that is in candy, such as your rock candy, your honey taffy, your honey creams, just to name a few. But today I've chosen fruit gummies. Now, mainly because my granddaughter loves fruit gummies. And this is a way healthier treat with no preservatives and no sugar in it. And also it is very yummy and easy to make, as you'll see. It only takes 3 ingredients. So my ingredients, I have pre-measured. I have 2 tablespoons of honey, of course. I have 2.5 tablespoons of gelatin. And I am using this blended apple, orange, peach juice is what I've chosen. You can use any juice that you want. I don't know if you can see this or not. Yeah, so as I was saying, you can use any flavored juice that you want. And the gummies are way more stronger in taste if you do use pure juice. Today I'm using a concentrate juice, so therefore I've added some lemon juice into it just to get it a little bit stronger of a flavor. The first batch was kind of mild because it is juice from concentrate. So that's just a tip for you. But be creative. You can play around with this. You can actually take fresh fruit and blend it in a blender. There's all kinds of recipes out there on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, on different varieties of how to do this recipe. So the one I'm doing is as easy and peasy pie as I possibly can make it. So I'm just going to get my burner on here. So you're going to need, I didn't show you that either, but you're going to need a candy mold. In this case, this is a mini ice cube tray and it's silicone, and so the candy just pops right out. You're going to need an eyedropper. You're going to need a pan of some sort to put your mold in, because you will be transporting this once you're done at the stove over to the fridge for it to set. So I apologize, you can't see what I'm doing. It worked when I was just using my phone, but that's not how this video thing works, so bear with me. I'm just pouring my juice with my little bit of splash of lemon juice in there into a pan, or a pot rather, a small pot. And I'm now putting my honey. Now I've used runny honey opposed to crystallized honey, because that way this honey is going to melt really fast in the saucepan. We don't want it taking a little bit longer if it was crystallized honey, a hard honey. And then for my gelatin, I've got my burner on. There's different ways of doing this too. You can put your juice and gelatin first and add honey last once it's dissolved, or you can get started by just like I'm doing. I'm just melting my honey. It's a very low temperature, medium low temperature you're using also. You're not boiling this or anything. It literally is very, very quick. The gelatin does not take long at all to dissolve. Okay, just give that a bit more of a stir. The first batch I used a whisk. Now I advise against that. The whisk made a bunch of foamy bubbles on the top, and it was really hard. Well, not really hard, but it made it more difficult to get the candy into the eyedropper, the mixture into the eyedropper to put it into the molds. So I'm just using a metal spoon today. And it's almost ready. That's how quick it takes for the gelatin to, my temperature could have been a little bit higher, but it's almost ready. Okay. So now I'm taking it off the heat. And I'm just going to be putting it, pinch your eyedropper. If you don't know how to use an eyedropper, put it into the liquid, let it suck up into the eyedropper, and then you just put your eyedropper in the hole and squeeze, and it comes out. And you have to do it several times to fill these because they're a little bit tall. But that is what I'm going to be doing here. Okay.
I do have a question, Mom.
Yep.
From Ashley here. Will it work with a vegetarian thickener like agar instead of gelatin?
I honestly don't know. I know this recipe that I found was talking about how there's collagen in your gelatin, and she wanted me to use a certain, I didn't write down, I had it on my grocery list, but a certain brand that was good for that, like a health, like make this a really, really healthy treat. And we don't have any in this town. So what I just used was Knox. I don't put it in front of this, sorry, right in front there. That's what I found as a gelatin in our stores. So it's what I used and it turned out fine. So I honestly don't know if that would be a substitute or not. And I don't know, I guess you could Google if it could be used as a substitute, because I don't really have an answer on that. I'm not.
Tell you what,
not
Ashley, why don't you experiment and get back to us?
Yeah, let us know if it works. Like, yeah. And I'm actually, to speed this up a little bit, because this recipe doesn't take long at all. It's the eyedropper part that takes long. So one of the things you can use instead of an eyedropper is a glass pitcher, so that you can, with like a little spout on it, so you can pour it into each one of the molds. I cheated while we were talking just now, and I literally just took my small little saucepan and poured it into my molds. So I'm just going to put this off to the side there. So I'm going to see if you can see. So they're pretty uniform. They don't have to be. I mean, it's a candy. It pops in your mouth right away. But while I was doing this yesterday with the first batch I did, which is right here, I'm going to show you. If you can see that, my yummy grape ones. I made grape flavored ones. So while I was doing this individually with the eyedropper and realized that, oh, this is actually a little bit consuming, time consuming to fill the mold, I was thinking, this really, really reminds me of what a bee is like in the hive. So I was imagining this being its straw-like, tube-like tongue that a bee has, and the hex ice cube tray molds that I chose being their hex combs in the hive. So it's a fun fact that I don't know that too many of you would know or not, but so I want to share it with you if I may. So many people don't know that a bee has two stomachs. They have one stomach that they actually eat their honey with, okay? And then they have the other stomach, which is their storage tank, because they go to the flower and they use that straw-like hollow tube tongue to suck up the nectar. Now, when they do that, where does it go? Does it go into their eating stomach? No, that's for the honey. So the second stomach, I am going to refer to it as the nectar holding storage tank. So that's where the honey goes. So with that said, and then they transport it in that holding tank, they transport it back to the hive. But how is honey made then? So you've got the nectar, but in that stomach, there's enzymes that are breaking down the complex sugar. So the sugar is the sucrose, and it's being broken into the glucose and the fructose, the simpler sugars that are easy for us to digest as humans. But it's still not quite honey yet. So be ready for this. What happens is the bee has sucked up the nectar from the flower, has it in a storage tank, and flies back to the hive. So when they get back to the hive, here's your fun fact, they regurgitate the liquid, the nectar that's in that tank, and the enzymes into the honeycomb. So yes, honey is bee vomit. Bet you didn't know that. but it still tastes really good, doesn't it? So just like the eyedropper being the tube-like tongue, she spits up the mixture into the comb, the hexagonal honeycombs, and the nectar at this point is 80% sugar water. So it's still not considered honey. So what happens is the bees use their wings and they fan them, use their wings as like fans, and they take the water content out of the honey until it is at 17% water content. And then they wax cap over top of that. And it's like us canning. They're storing it. They're keeping it pure, ready for when they're going to eat it. Okay. So that's actually when we extract the honey. The whole frame of honey isn't all capped, but a large percentage of it on the outside is capped, and there will be runny honey in there. We don't want to take frame after frame after frame of just runny honey because it ferments. We need that water content to be taken out so that it's our really thick, yummy honey, and it's good for us. So I have those molds full and I need to stick them in the fridge. So I'm not going to bore you by showing you that, but I have to put it in the fridge, and it goes in the fridge for 2 hours to set. And then when it comes out, you get these yummy, whoops, show you this side. Oh, that side had the bubbles on from, whoops, there you go. Where's my camera? I can't line this up worth a crap here. Anyway, there is a gummy here. There's a gummy. And it's nice and gooey. The other side, as I was showing originally, it's got some bubbles on it from me using a whisk yesterday, which I realized I shouldn't do that. But yeah, it's got a good texture. It's light in color. So if you want it to be a dark color, don't use food coloring. Just use a natural, all 100% juice and or real fresh fruit. So I use concentrate juice. This is what happens is it's just not as flavorful and not as strong. And it's, you know, happy Halloween. And I think that's about it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So
Didn't
yummy.
see any more in the group chat other than the gelatin one. I did add a new category for Ashley for our recipes for everybody, so we can post the recipes from today as well as from our last live stream, and then we'll have all of our recipes posted there. And then please, yes, Ashley and everybody else test the recipes and then post your results on the school community. So once again, that's school.com/bees. I'll just put it up on the screen again here. There we go.
And yeah, I'll have to get, I borrowed this mini ice cube mold from Patrice. So I definitely have to get it back to him so he can make this for his daughter, my granddaughter, because she'll love them. She'll gobble them up, and it's so, so healthy.
They are delicious. The honey is delicious. I can attest to that. Doesn't matter where you get your honey from. Just try to get a local source for you, and then get it natural and then pasteurized. And then that adds so much more to the ingredient or to the recipe when you're substituting that out.
Yeah. And I can put the name of what that gelatin was that the girl had recommended in the recipe that I chose to use for this. And then that way, whoever's watching can know about that brand in particular that was good, full of collagen and other health benefits for you as well. Because with that and with the honey, which is all natural and yummy, and if you were using natural fruit juice, 100% pure juice, it's a great healthy combination. So it's not, it might be considered a candy, but it's very healthy as a treat during the day.
It's like the Welch's fruit snacks, but the better version, and you make them at home.
Way better. Yeah, I was disappointed because when I made the grape last night, I had a bite of it. I was like, why isn't this that dark? And then I had a bite of it, and I was like, oh man, because I went to the store and I bought different flavored juices for this, and I didn't pay attention to concentrate or not concentrate because the recipe I was using didn't specify that. But then I realized that, yep, if you use real juice, you get real flavor. Flavorful, yeah.
Real natural flavor, except we mean it for real this time. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. I'll just call them vitamins.
Yeah.
Your daily treats for you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Everyone frowns upon giving out homemade goods at Halloween. So this is definitely something you could do at home with the kids there, Jenna.
It's something at home. You definitely can't give this out though because of the rules at Halloween. You can't do homemade candies like when I was a child and you receive those in your bag just because of health reasons. It has to unfortunately be pre-wrapped and store-bought stuff. It can't be homemade stuff anymore because that was a real treat going as a child and getting like candied apples and, you know, something. I never did get fruit gummies, but, you know, something like this, we would get homemade stuff in little Ziploc bags, and that's not allowed anymore. So, but it's definitely okay for a Halloween party indoors or with your friends and family and people that trust you, trust your cooking.
Or you could actually add vitamins and then get your kids to take their vitamins.
Oh, yes, that would be a very good idea.
We'll just wait a second, see if you guys have any more questions. But thank you guys so much for joining us for our Sweet Treats Halloween episode. If you guys have any requests for recipes or for other sorts of content you guys would like to see, did you share what you have coming up next, Mom, that you're working on yet?
Oh, yeah, actually. I don't know if you saw that in the picture. I had some Halloween candles here. So excuse me, because they're wrapped in plastic already so that we can put our prices and our information on the bottom. But yeah, this is a pile of skulls. So yeah, coming up, I would like to show you how to make candles. It's, again, fairly easy, and it's just time consuming when you're doing a large amount like I have to get ready here for all the Christmas season. But yeah, so that's my happy Halloween pile of skulls.
So that'll be fun. I know Neiman in the bees community was asking for that. So he's excited to see the candle making one. I'll make sure to tag him so he sees this. Ooh, I did see one more question, I think, in the chat there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jenna was just saying local honey is allergy help. So that's going to do an only.
Yes. Yeah, we can do that in another presentation. You were saying that eat local honey because of allergies?
Yeah, that was something she said. So I wanted to see if you had anything to say about that.
Yeah. So when you're consuming pollen or honey from your local area, like I'd say, I don't know, like a community even within a 2-3 hour radius of yourself, what's happening is the bees are gathering from the plants that are in your local area. So there's 2 types of pollen. One is an allergy causer, one counteracts the pollen. Like there's 2 pollens. The bees are actually in the flower collecting the antihistamine pollen. And so when you consume that, which there are traces of your pollen in your honey, that's very good for you because it actually, if you are allergic to pollen in the air, eating honey or pollen from your area counteracts that. So it helps. It's like a natural healer. Honey is just incredible. Bees are incredible. There's so much to know, so much to learn. I just started, I'm going to say 20 years, maybe I've been doing this. My husband for, generations back. And I never thought of the honeybee the way I do now and see it for all its value that it's worth. They're an incredible creature, and we really have so much to learn from them on so many different levels. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question or added to your comment.
Well, if you want to learn about the world of bees, all the cool stuff that they make, how to use the honey in recipes, and then maybe even how to become a beekeeper. I don't know, maybe that's something super duper special that we're working. Yes, absolutely. We have a beekeeping course. You guys can join us at school.com/bees. Just come get your fun facts, come learn how to cook with honey. And then if you want to learn how to get bees next summer, because we're going into winter, we'll teach you how to do that over the winter and get you ready to go next summer. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Happy Halloween, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for coming.